how do you prevent women from flaking on you?
Well, the first obvious one is make that impression in person. So it depends. Like if you met her on a dating app in person. Another thing that a lot of guys should do is send like follow-up text or like what's it called? The night before, I'll just say like looking forward to seeing you at whatever. So some guys will lock it in a week in advance and they'll be like, okay, well, I'll see you at this place for this time. And then they won't follow up throughout the rest of the week and then just assume it's signed, sealed, and delivered. But yeah, send that follow-up text the night before. That's one thing, and make a better impression in person. That's another.
The best way I heard this explained is whether or not a girl will flake is dependent on two factors. It's how attracted she is to you and how attracted she is to the date or the offer. And so each of those go on a 10-point scale. Cumulatively, added together, if it's at least 10 or above, she's showing up on that date. So if she's 10 out of 10 interested in you and you invite her to go do the fucking worst thing in the world, you want to go pick up trash on the side of the highway, well, she's going to show up because she's 10 out of 10 into you. Conversely, if she's 1 out of 10, you know, you're some annoying ass trust fund kid, overweight, haven't done fuck all for yourself, you just exist, but you're like, hey, buddies and I are hopping on a private jet, we got F1 in Monaco, paid for, do you want to come? She's going to show up. 10 out of 10 offer. So it's all about striking that balance. Now, as men, what we generally are more interested in is having her be more interested in us than the activity, but both matter. So do the most that you can to maximize that attraction, that interest on the front end, all of the stuff that we talk about maximizing attraction, status, and everything, and try to have a good offer. So if you're going to take her for drinks, generally take her to the nice drink spot as opposed to the dive bar. Or, hey, if it's a social environment, if it's a social invite, if you can tell, hey, you know what, she's like a 3 out of 10 interest on me, well, maybe this is not time to escalate and take her to a one-on-one date. But if you have something cool social coming up, like I did puppy yoga, massive hack. Puppy yoga is like a 9 out of 10 invite. She's going to fucking show up to that. And then while she's there, you've got pre-selection, social proof, leadership, all of these attraction triggers. And that 3 can go to a 7 out of 10 interest real quick. So it's just about figuring out where's her interest level and what do I need to invite her to.
I think that's a good metric for guys running like social circle game. It's a good way to determine if you're inviting a girl out to like a date with you or out to like a, as you said, like puppy yoga. And I assume you're inviting more than one girl, right? Like there's probably a few girls going to that. So yeah, right. So I think that's a good metric. If you're someone that's using just Tinder or you're cold approaching, I would probably steer away from that unless you're doing, because as you mentioned, right? Like you want a girl there for you. The biggest thing I see guys make a mistake with is they try to close a goal too early without enough value. Because we've spoken about compliance a lot. You can reach a level of compliance where a girl will give you a number but never reply. You can reach a level of compliance that a girl will reply to you but never say yes to a date. And you can reach a level of compliance where a girl will say yes to a date but never fucking show up. And so I think what guys do is they think like, okay, I just want to get a yes to the date. That's all I fucking care about. So they don't build enough value. They're a little bit too needy. The girl says yes to the date, but I can guarantee you, they like, I will tell the guys, this girl's flaking, right? Like she's barely replied to any of your messages. She gave you like a maybe or a yes or something. Like this girl's fucking flaking. Like your best thing to do now is actually flake on her. Just tell her you're not coming, right? You can't make it. Someone else came up. So build value is going to be the first thing. And then try to not actually ask for the date. Try to bait it as much as you can. Like this is a little bit more advanced, but like if you can get the girl to the point where she's asking you for the meet, that's going to be better. A step back from that is at least find out her availability first. Right? So, hey, I'm curious what's your schedule like? She gives you a schedule. And then you can say, actually, I might be able to make Friday work. I'll let you know. Right? So even if you're not baiting and she's asking you, you're at least creating a frame that there's some scarcity there, that you're not like just jumping, yes, any day will work for me. I'm free every day of the week, blah, blah. So yeah, Friday might work. Then hit her up 2 days before. Some guys are planning fucking dates 2 weeks out. It's like, bro, what the fuck? Like, that's not even good for business. Like I wouldn't even say sales calls that far out. Like why are you doing dates that far out? So like I try to keep it like 2 days, right? So you get their schedule, you let them know like it might work. And then 2 days out, you can be like, actually, I got some good news. She's like, what's up? And I'm like, I'm free on Friday. We can go do, you know, I usually just do drinks, right? Or she can come to my place. And then someone else mentioned, I forget who it was, but yeah, I'd send a follow-up text, but that follow-up text shouldn't be are we still on? Right? That just indicates that you're used to girls flaking on you, right? I'd rather send a text like, hey, I'm really sorry, just to let you know I'll be 10 minutes late. Or I'll send a message. If she's coming around to my place, I'll send a message and be like, hey, I just bought a bottle of wine for us, right? I'll see you at 7 p.m. Or I just bought a new bottle of coconut oil. What the fuck you doing, right? And that way you're solidifying the date, because some guys just wait and the girl's like, well, I think he's flaking on me, and they just don't show up or some shit. So like, you do want to solidify it, but do it in a way that doesn't sound needy. So yeah, it's a big thing for you guys. Have the value. Don't do it too early. Get her to chase a little bit and then do the follow-up text.
Dude,
And
I
actually,
love
let me
the
jump
on
idea.
a
I need to
point
push it
here.
back an hour follow-up text. That one's huge. So like what
Yeah.
you were saying, Marcus, like especially like the night before, you can be like, hey, I know we said 6. I'm so sorry. I'm going to be working late. Can we do 7? It's so powerful. 'Cause they never say no. They've got their night blocked off for you. If anything, meeting her later in the evening is better anyways. It's amazing.
And locking it
I
in
wanna
is so important too.
I want to super quickly address the point Marcus made about booking dates 2 weeks ahead. Sometimes there are cases where that's kind of a thing, like she's traveling, you're traveling, whatever, and you're just like, you matched on Tinder or something. As I like to say, anything more than 2 or 3 days away is not a date, it's a draft date. So you should 2 or 3 days before that draft date, you should reconfirm. That's all I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that a good anti-flake, and this is a little bit more advanced, and this is because I live in Los Angeles, which I would argue is literally the flakiest city in the entire world I've ever been to. It's like a 66% flake rate. And that's because you've got your normal variables, right? Good-looking guys, rich guys. Well, you also have famous guys out here. You have the geography where people will not date people in different areas of Los Angeles because of the drive. It feels like it's a long distance relationship at that point. And, all that creates this incredibly flaky culture. Instagram game, right? Instead of doing the phone number, and it does require that you have a really curated Instagram where she sees like however your game was, right, in person. Then she sees your curated Instagram. It's like, oh, shit, like this guy has really high value. And then I like to post her story like after like I meet her and see if she's like stalking my story and maintain the interest and kind of like building that value to showing that what Marcus was saying, like you have value, that she needs to chase you, and to reconfirm with you. Otherwise you're going to free up that spot for someone else on your roster. That is a little bit more advanced, and that does require you to have an actually good Instagram and not just like your dog and fish pictures and food pictures.
That's a great point. The Instagram. I've seen a lot of guys lose dates because of their Instagram, because their Instagram is either displaying low value or they're following people, and girls will check this. They'll Google your name. They'll check out your Instagram. They'll probably know more about you than you think on the date. They'll sit around with 5 of their detective friends and find all this stuff out. But yeah, like the Instagram can either be your greatest, it can either be your best friend or your worst enemy.
Yeah, like I said,
had
it
a
has to
girl
be
send me a clip of one of these.
curated. It can't be like a random Instagram.
How many followers you got, JT?
Like 11,000 on my personal. I have mine separate from like business and personal. My personal one is like what I actually use with girls. So I don't use it for like pickup or coaching or anything like that. But it is like a one, you want to have like at least 1 to 100 ratio, right? Where you have 1 to 10, where you have like more followers than following.
Yeah, I got like 21,000 followers at the moment. It's going up every week by the hundreds, and I follow like 60 people.
Yeah, I mean that's what you want, and especially if you are handing it out to girls. And to what Devin was saying, like one of my guys uses Instagram really good, and he's been called out by girls like why are all these girls following you? I said, I did promoting. Of course, girls would follow me, and then he's lost some dates because the girls get jealous. But at the same time, women would rather pursue a man that is being pursued by other women than a man that has no girls after him at all.
Yeah,
it's funny you mentioned that. Let me just quickly say it. I got a message like a few days ago from a random woman, just like, by the way, if you look at my Instagram profile, you can see my daughter, you can see my wife. I'm getting messages from random women sometimes who are just like inviting me to a nearby city. I'm just like, oh, interesting. But they know I'm married and they know I have a daughter. It's just a very funny thing. Whereas when I was single, when I didn't use Instagram, I had a profile, but I never used it or put anything on there. Of course, nothing was happening.
Yeah, classic. They want what
The,
they have.
As far as the flaking, that's a common question that comes up a lot. And a lot of guys struggle with that one. Whenever someone asks me about the flaking, I tell them to focus on investment. That's the word that I go for. And getting more investment in your initial interaction. Now, mostly I'm teaching guys how to meet them in person. If it's online dating and social circle, it's a little bit different. But if you're meeting the woman in person, a tendency guys have is to like go in there, approach her, talk a lot, get a phone number and leave, right? They think like the phone number is the accomplishment, but they're not solidifying the actual interaction. So if you focus on investment, what kind of investment can you get? You can get logistical investment, not just walking up to her and talking to her in the same place for 20 minutes, moving her around the bar. Let's say you guys move to another bar or something like that. Moving logistics is huge. Disclosure, I like to talk about how much, when someone has a flaky phone number and a student is like, oh, she didn't write me back, I say, what do you remember about her? And they're like, and it takes them a long time to think of it. If she shares a lot of things, personal things about herself to you and invests in you that way, she'll feel safer with you and she's going to feel closer to you. So she invests with her disclosure. Another one, obviously, is physical. Okay. If you met the girl, she talked to you a bunch, you moved her around, you went back to your place, say things got physical, she's a lot less likely, as we know, a woman's more likely to hit you up after things get physical than not. I'm not saying you have to do that when you first meet him, but you want to focus on spending a little bit. Time is another one as well, right? Spending a little bit more time with them, getting them to open up and share more with you, moving them around a little bit. When a woman starts to follow your lead, that's a big compliance thing when they move with you logistically, and some physical touch, right? If she invests that stuff in you and then she flakes after that, I mean, it's a lot less likely that that's going to happen. So I tell guys, don't just focus on just getting the number and being out of there. Like sometimes even get the number and stay in the interaction and build more of that investment. The more that you build, I mean, it's just going to help.
I had a mentor who used to say, it's not a valid number close unless you have a day, time, and activity solidified, so much so that you should both show up if you lost your phones tomorrow. If you don't have those things ironed out, now it's a little extreme. Occasionally you'll hit a girl and it's just like, okay, whatever. It's logistically not going to happen tonight. That's where Instagram's amazing as a nurture feature. I've had girls hit me up a year after we met because they just see you posting. Maybe this particular chick that I'm thinking of lived in LA. I'm over in Scottsdale. Next time she's in town, who's she hitting up? Well, it's pretty easy. But with somebody who you're trying to like a cold approach, either for whether this is for a date or a social circle purpose, just iron out those logistics right there on the spot. Figure out, again, to Marcus's point, if you can get her asking, but figure out, okay, what's our date going to be? What are we doing together? Once you have all of that done, cool. Now there's a reason for the phone number and she's more likely to show up because this is all ironed out. You've made it very, very clear this is a real thing that's happening. Versus a lot of guys, you can be the number hunter. You can go in. I think if you just get like a little bit calibrated, a little bit confident, you can probably close 60-80% of girls just on a number. But then we all know like that number's not going to text the guy back. She's just, here, fine, take my fucking number, go away, I don't want to talk to you. Even if it's a real one. But just making sure that it's a rock solid interaction. You've hit all of this attraction, this compliance as much as you can, and then you're just ironing out all of the details. That is going to help a lot.
Time bridge, right, JT? That's what we called it back in the day.
Old school.
Time bridge, it's called. Yeah. While you get the number. One more thing I just want to add to what I said before is I'll tell guys actually if they're having trouble with flaky numbers to stop asking for numbers completely. And then like that's an exercise I'll do with them so that they work on all the other things that I had mentioned before. And I tell them that a good sign that you're building investment and connection with women is they start asking you for your numbers. So if someone's really struggling with flaky numbers, I tell them to just stop asking for numbers completely and focus on the foundational parts of your game.
I have seen messages from guys before where they say a girl flaked and they'll like, you have to confirm a time and confirm the day. A lot of guys won't confirm the time. They'll be like, oh yeah, Thursday sounds good to me. And then the girl will be like, oh yeah, I'm off that day. And then they'll leave it. And then on Thursday, they'll text the girl at like 3:00 and they'll be like, oh, so let's meet here at 5. And the girl won't answer. And then it's just like, okay, lock in the date and the time.
Solidify it. Solidify it.
Exactly.
It's
Be like,
not
ghosted
fucking
me.
solid.
What the hell?